Hi there. I mentioned in my last update I wasn't gonna. I was saving my money for stuff that was coming out in September, but I got a job, like a film making job, and because of that, I have a bit more disposable income, and there were some things that I wanted to get that were very cheap. So yeah, I'll start off with the this. So recently, I bought the main Alien films, like the first four plus the two prequels, and I thought, well, to finish the collection, I should really get these two. The Even though they're technically not canon anymore, the Alien vs Predator films. There's the DVD double feature because it was $3.99, and yeah, I'm not gonna. I didn't want to pay very much for them because they're not very good films, really. They're both on one disc. There's no extra features. They are the unrated cuts though, which I guess is something. AVP one's kind of enjoyable, just as a bit of trashy sort of B movie thing, just seeing the alien and the predator fighting. It's pretty cool. Um, AVP two Requiem, which I hadn't seen until I bought this, was awful. I'd heard it was awful, but yeah, it was really awful. It's so dark, and I don't mean that tonally. I mean you cannot see what is happening in half the scenes because the lighting is so poor. It is just terrible, but the aliens in it. So because because the first Alien's my favorite film ever, I thought, well, I should own all the Alien films, like a crazy person. And since um, I got all the Alien films, it's like, well, I've got Alien versus Predator. I should probably get all the Predator films because I've only got the first one. And there was this box set which was like 13 quid from Amazon. Uh, it's got Predator, Predator Two, Predators, The Predator, Predator One. Love Predator One, Predator Two. Never been the biggest fan of Predators. I hadn't seen before. It was actually, I thought it was decent. It was a decent film. Predator, The Predator. I haven't watched yet. I've actually been doing an Alien and Predator marathon. I've been watching them in the order they came out in, and I'm up to the Predator, which is the last one, and I'm not really looking forward to it because I've heard it's really bad. Uh, but yeah, this is if you're wondering, the version of Predator in this is the Ultimate Edition, the one with the DNR transfer where everyone looks like they're made of wax. They're not the best picture quality, but the box set was cheap. I watched it. It wasn't completely unwatchable. Yeah, I would have preferred the. I mean, I would have liked to have gotten the 4Ks, but this was considering most of these films I was only buying for completionist sake. So 13 quid, I can't argue with that, even if it's not the best copy of the original Spider-Man on 4K, the 2002 film. Picture quality is very good on this. Yeah, I think the film holds up quite well considering it's nearly 20 years old. I mean, yeah, it's like the visual, like the cinematography and the special effects do date it to the 2000s, but it's like as a film, I think it holds up quite well. Um, Especially because it's quite refreshing in the with all the superhero films coming out now, all being part of some big cinematic universe. I mean, not all, but like they're all you got the MCU and the DC EU or whatever the hell it's called, and it's like it's just nice to see a superhero film that isn't tied to like it's part of some greater universe. It's just a standalone film. It's nice. Dances with Wolves. This is the German import. This is one of my favorite films, but I've never owned a copy because the by the time I saw it, the UK Blu-ray was out of print. I couldn't get a hold of it. And I didn't just want to buy a DVD because it's an epic western. You want the best quality possible. So I imported this because it was only like 12. I think it was 12.99. So from Amazon. So yeah, really nice. And it's the director's cut, which I've never seen. Like I think I don't know if I've seen it actually. I'm pretty sure when I saw it on TV. Whenever I've seen it on TV, it's been the theatrical cut, but I'm not sure. It's probably a while before I watch this because I have to because the extended cut's 4 hours long, and I need to find a day when I've got like 4 hours to spare and just sit and watch, you know, the film without any distractions because you know I love it. I love it so much. The Tenant, the Roman Polanski film. This is also an import from Australia. If you want a copy of this film and you are region, you can. you are Region A capable, don't buy this. Buy the Shout Factory release. Shout Factory release has special, like, this is bare bones, literally bare bones. Like, I don't think it doesn't have any special features. There's no menu, no subtitles, no chapter selection. Literally, you just put the disc in and the film starts. Yeah, and you can't even like skip to another chapter. Like, there's no chapter points. It's just one long chapter. So not the best, and the encoding's not the best. There's a few parts where it looks a bit. It doesn't look terrible. It looks more like a Netflix stream than a Blu-ray. So this isn't the best release of the film. You want to get the Shout Factory version, which has subtitles and menus and scene selection and plenty of special features. I could have bought that because I'm region free, but it's quite the Shout Factory discs are quite expensive. It's like 20 odd quid. I just wanted to watch the film again. I didn't remember that. I saw this many years ago. I don't remember liking it very much, but I wanted to watch it again because there were certain moments that stuck with me. And I thought, well, it's the fact that it stuck with me means, I mean, maybe I need to watch it again. Maybe there must be something good about it. And it's out. It was on DVD, but it's out of print. Can't get the DVD anywhere anymore. So I thought this was like 12 quid. So I thought, well, I'll import it, and then I can watch it. And actually, I did like it more this time. Uh, yeah, it's a very creepy film, and but yeah, probably should have gone. In hindsight, I probably should have gone with the Shout, even though it costs well a lot more money. It's probably a better release. So if you can play Region A disc, get the Shout one. If you're Region B locked, but you want it in HD, this one's okay. But there's better versions out there. These next three were all they were in buy two get one free from the Entertainment Store. Starman, the John Carpenter film. Jeff Bridges plays an alien. Really good film. I really like this. Always liked it more than E.T. Never been a big fan of E.T. anyway. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I watched this in secondary school. Like, my media teacher showed us it in class once, and I remember it being very good. Like Jim Carrey, he and Kate Winslet, they have a relationship. It ends badly, and then there's this treatment where you can get someone erased from your memories. Like, you can get memories erased. So, and he finds out that Kate Winslet has erased their relationship. So he decides to get the same thing done. But as the procedure's happening, he decides, actually, no, I want to keep these memories, and it's like him trying to fight and keep hold of these memories, stuff there. But yeah, really good film. I haven't seen it since I was in school. So probably 10 years ago, I would think, depending on what year. Well, yeah, I think about 10 years ago. So so I was overdue for a rewatch. And Rain Man, you might remember in one of my previous updates, I showed the DVD of this I got from the pound shop. And that DVD was one of those really early DVDs from like the 2000 or something, like late 90s. So the picture quality was a bit ropey, so I decided to get it in HD. This is the old Blu-ray. There was a remastered version which had a better transfer, but for some reason you can't get that anymore. The old one. So I thought, well, part of an offer, I'll just get it, and I'm sure it'll still look a lot better than that DVD. Bit controversial uh, even though as someone who's part of the autistic community, I probably shouldn't like this because it's quite a controversial film in some ways because a lot of people object to Dustin Hoffman playing a neurodivergent person because he's not neurodivergent, and also because his performance became, even though it's quite accurate, the particular version of the particular type of autism the character is written to be, like savantism, even though it's quite an accurate depiction of savantism, like people saw this and they just assumed all autistic people are like that. So the character became a bit of a stereotype. So a lot of autistic people aren't the biggest fans of this. I really like it though. Uh, Titanic. This was like a fiver from Amazon. I'm not the biggest James Cameron fan. I mean, I don't think any of his films are like outright. I don't hate it. They're all enjoy. I'm not the biggest fan of his writing. His dialogue's very ropey, I think. But this one, on a technical level, I think this is a really well made, really well done film. But the script and the dialogue just quite ropey, in my opinion. So it really needed, I think, a bit of a polish to improve it. If they had a bit of script, it would be probably a favourite of mine. But But yeah, but yeah, it's still good. On the scenes of the ship sinking are really well done. Some of the best like action set pieces in cinema, I think, in my opinion. Next, we have Hand of the Ripper. This is a Hammer horror film about this. I think it's like Jack the Ripper's daughter, and she's like possessed by him or something like that. I can't remember. I haven't seen it in a while. But I remember it being really good. One of the better later Hammer horror films, definitely. So yeah, quite gory in places too, if I remember correctly. Yeah, and also quite cool on this. It has an episode of a TV series called Thriller, which is an anthology show. I think is a special feature, and I think it has one of the actors from this, and that's why it's on here. And that's something network, the company who does this, they release a lot of archive TV. So sometimes when they release a movie, in you know when they're including special features, they'll include like an episode from one of the shows they own the rights to. They've licensed with like one of the stars of the film in. So it's kind of interesting because you get to see some interesting archival stuff on their discs. I've got a sore throat. I've had to do this about 3 times because I keep getting interrupted. Uh, these next two are well, actually no, I'll leave them because they're related to another item later. Aladdin, the 4K. This was $11.99 in HMV, brand new, and I was like, oh, I'm having that. Which yeah, this is a classic Disney animated film. I'm sure it'll look. I don't know if because it's animated. I don't know if it'll have any more detail compared to a standard Blu-ray, but the color should look much nicer because of the HDR. Um, yeah, really good film. If you haven't seen, this is one of the better Disney animated films, in my opinion. I tend to prefer. I'm not a big fan of the Renaissance ones. I tend to prefer the ones like the original ones made when Walt Disney was alive. But that one's also really good, I think. Next, this was also $11.99, but I got it second hand. Ghostbusters, the original. Yeah, very funny film. Picture quality on this is really, really good. Very grainy. If you're not a fan of grain, you won't like this, but really, that's what films shot in the 80s look like. That's the product of being shot on film. They're not going to look like modern day, clean digital video because that's not how they were filmed. So, it's a representation of a film shot on quite the particular film stock it was in 1984. It looks quite good, I think. So, yeah, good looking disc. Uh, Bill Murray comes off as a bit of a sex pest in that film, though. Like when he's like trying to chat up Sigourney Weaver, he comes off like in the Me Too era. He comes off as a bit of a sex pest, which I guess that's just a product of the time it was made in. Next, we have I got this in the charity shop the other day. Gregory's Girl. This is on Blu-ray, but it was 99p, so I thought, why not? And it's one of those Woolworths Worth It discs. Basically, Woolworths was a shop here in the UK, and I guess that like certain DVDs, like budget releases, they would just had the they would release it, but they'd have like their own cover where it's it's like a part of their own I don't know thing. So it's kind of cool because Woolworths isn't around anymore, so it's kind of cool to have one of these. This is, even though it says widescreen at the top there, it's not. It's a 4:3 image, but it's fine. For 99p, I'm fine with that. I mean, I would like the Blu-ray, but just I just wanted a copy of the film, to be honest. So really good film. It's about a school. Gregory's a school footballer, and there's a girl, Dorothy. She's called. She joins the team, and he basically, he gets the hots for her, and he's kind of like trying to date her and stuff. And it's a really good film. Uh, Scottish film, so I think some of the accents might be a little hard to understand for some people, but yeah, it's a really good film. Worth checking out. Not such a good film is the Looney Looney Bugs Bunny movie, because Space Jam 2 is coming out, the Warner Brothers put out some of the old Looney Tunes compilation films on DVD here in the UK. And basically, what they took some of the old shorts, but they would like add sort of new linking animation to try and make it into like a story. And this one I had on tape when I was a kid, so I was quite fond of it. I always remember these compilation movies being on TV, but this one I always liked in particular because I had it on video, so I watched it a lot. And I got this because it was like, oh, I'll get that, and it's not very good. I mean, you can tell the new, the old, the original cartoons themselves have been edited to try and fit into the new thing. And the new segment, the new part, you can tell because the animation quality is different. And Mel Blanc, who did all the voices, sounds about 40 years older, which he was. So, and they're not as funny the new segments. So it's a bit of a disappointment watching this. Really, I'm probably just gonna fit it in because honestly, it wasn't as good as I mean. The actual shorts themselves were still funny, but you can get them. You can get like Looney Tunes box sets and stuff that have a lot of these shorts on them, so you can just see them that way, uncut instead of in this mutilated form. Uh, so yeah, have a nice slipcover though. So, and it did come with some bonus cartoons, but which were okay. But I don't think I'd ever watch those again, so no real reason to keep it. And these next ones, I got these from HMV. We had Sweeney and Sweeney 2. These are spin-offs from the TV series The Sweeney, which was a cop show in the 70s. Very good show, actually. Very groundbreaking in its day. And it still holds up quite well, even though some of the language is a bit un-PC. It still holds up pretty well as a cop show, I think. Writing's very strong. And these are movie spin-offs. I always preferred the first one more. I think the second one felt more like a two-part episode with slightly more violent and sweary because it was on the cinema, not TV, so they could get away with more adult content. But the first one actually feels like a proper film. But they're both enjoyable in their own way. And I didn't actually own the show. I had the pilot with Regan, which was a TV movie, which later got the show later sprang from. Basically, the show was a spin off of this TV movie, and I had those, but I didn't have the show itself. I used to, but for reason it was a silly story, and for reasons that are quite silly, so I won't tell them. I ended up selling my box set, so I didn't have it anymore. But I was looking on eBay, and someone was selling it for it was £13 or so, so very quite cheap for a box set. So I got the complete the complete series. This is the vanilla box. It basically doesn't have any extras. The box set I had some extras, but I guess they couldn't. They lost the license for some of the extras, so they re-released it with just the episodes. But it's the episodes themselves that are important, and yeah. So in these cases, a couple of the discs were a bit scratched up. I played one of them and it played alright. The other one I haven't played yet because I'm watching them in order. Hopefully they'll be fine though. I don't have to I don't think I'll be able to send them back by now, but hopefully all the discs will work. But some of them were a bit ropey, but so far they've played alright. But yeah, great show. One of my favourites was my favourite TV series for the longest time. I don't know if it would be now. It's been a while. Um, Probably if my favourite TV series, probably Pennies from Heaven, the mini series with Bob Hoskins. That's probably my favourite TV series. I could tell you what my favourite film is and my favourite song, maybe my favourite book. Favourite TV series, it's a lot harder because there's so many ones that I really like. But this is definitely up there. So I now have all of the Sweeney again. So alright, so that's everything I picked up, and I will see you when when I pick up more stuff and put myself talking about them. So actually, this one's quite short um, compared to some of the other ones. So yeah, so I will see you all later.